Hey everyone, welcome aboard. This is a deeper dive into the initial quality of our 2022 Tesla Model X 7-seater. I did a quick 1-minute video on the initial delivery, but I wanted to kind of go in depth as to some of the quality issues that we've experienced with the vehicle in the first month that we've owned it. We haven't really driven this vehicle much in the last month since delivery, mostly because we're waiting on our ceramic coating and PPF appointment so that we can drive around with a little bit more confidence in terms of just day-to-day damage that we might encounter on the roads. But while the vehicle is still mostly in our garage, I'd like to go over some of the things that we've noticed kind of on initial inspection. We already have an appointment with Tesla to fix a lot of these issues, but for those of you that are wondering what the quality is like in a vehicle of price range with Tesla, unfortunately, it's not that different from what you'd encounter with a Model 3 or Model Y. So let's just go through some of the things that we've noticed. The Falcon Wing doors are kind of an area of problems dating back to when the vehicle was first released. And unfortunately, this vehicle is of no exception. So if I start with the passenger side rear door, so you'll notice that, the front door does not match up with the rear door. And if you kind of go further down to this trim, this is a common deficiency here, definitely noted for Tesla. Hopefully they can fix that one. If we kind of move on to, this is a common one as well, kind of the alignment of the door handles, usually not perfect. I also don't know that Tesla will fix that much, or if it's going to be deemed within spec, unfortunately. Kind of some of the more noticeable differences are, if you move on to the headlight area, you'll notice that there's this gap here between the hood and the top of the headlight. And if you move on to the driver's side, this gap is far narrower than the one that we just showed you over here. So I'm gonna have Tesla check that one out. If we move on to this area right here, this trim piece right here, it's like recessed a little bit compared to the metal part here. And this door is better than the other door in terms of fitment and alignment. You don't have that area sticking up like on the other side. Unfortunately, kind of this rear panel here, you can hear it squeak. It's like something's just not clipped in here correctly, and I can't clip it in myself. And then also, kind of the trim right here, you can just hear like this metal grinding sound if you press in. And it's just protruding. If you look kind of right here, it just doesn't match up with this, and also the top area right here, it doesn't match. Also, if you just look a lot closer, and I don't think this is going to come out on the video, there's just areas of like excess adhesive that just seem to be coming out of the trim. I don't know if that's just them rushing and they weren't able to remove some of those areas. The paint quality itself seems to be really good. Didn't notice any like obvious roll marks or scratches, and that's a good sign. So hopefully when the car eventually makes its way to the shop for paint correction and ceramic coating, the labor involved in that is minimal. The tires are the correct size for the front and the back. As many of you know, the tire size for the front of the Model X uses a 265 tire, and the rear uses a 275 tire. Some of the vehicles that have been shown online have mismatched tire sizes or even mismatched brands. Definitely not acceptable for a vehicle kind of this price point and quality that's expected. Though I am noticing a valve cap there. Yeah, just kind of these little minor things that, although are not deal breakers, they're definitely disappointing. Just another item that we noticed for delivery, if you kind of look along the trim here, you'll notice like this discoloration, this oily residue that extends onto the paint. And that basically came from the shiny tire compound that they used, that basically they just over applied it, and as we drove home, the chemical basically just splattered all over the side of the vehicle, unfortunately. That's easily removable during a car wash, but we're just not really going to deal with that until it's time for paint correction and ceramic coating. But I also don't want to just seem like I'm constantly bashing on Tesla's quality here. There are some great advantages to this vehicle, as you can see. I mean, I can fit a couple of tables and some chairs and a car seat, no problem. The two rear seats folded down and the 60-40 split in the center. The interior of the vehicle has been, really solid. The ability of not having to, touch the door when you close it is great. And the articulating display is just a nice touch coming directly from the factory. You can tilt it both to the passenger, as well as to the driver. And yeah, as someone who's owned a Model 3 since 2018, this is definitely a welcome addition and improvement over the previous display. But overall, I would say the number of problems that we've had in initial quality compared to our 2018 delivery of the Model 3, far less. Despite everything that I've just said, I'm not overly alarmed with the quality because I know that Tesla will make it right. They've made it right for everything on our Model 3, and the number of things that have gone wrong with our Model 3, that's kind of almost for a separate video. But even with all of those numerous issues, Tesla made it right, and the car is in great shape now, 4 years later. And I expect nothing less from Tesla service and the team at Tesla.